There we go. Progress. I love to see it.
What happened? Oh.
You got to turn your camera on.
Okay, I'm just figuring it out. My bad, y'all. Let me see. Oh.
You good. Okay. We here.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. I need y'all to tap and share the live if you can. As many likes as we can possibly get, just so that they don't ban or nothing like that. Just stay active as much as y'all can. Everybody introduce yourselves. I am Trey. You call me Dion.
Can y'all see me?
No, you gotta turn your camera on, babes.
I can see myself. Let me see. I ain't the right time.
All right, introduce yourselves.
Hey, boo!
Hey, Drew.
I got it forever.
Yeah, I know it's been a long time.
Oh,
But don't cry, girl. Don't cry. Don't cry.
yo. Oh my God. Oh, it's okay, y'all. I know. I know. It's been a long time coming.
I'm sorry. Thank you, dear.
Y'all, please don't get me in my feelings. I'm a Cancer. I don't
Oh,
want to be
shit. I
crying.
wasn't going to cry. I cry every time I see her. Okay, my name is Shapri. My real name is Shapri. I'm Alexis' sister that's been speaking out about what I know about the situation.
I'm Tracy. I'm one of the people that was told to stay quiet and had to suppress what I knew for years.
Okay. Like I said, y'all, I'm Dion. We are actively raising money for a private investigator. So if I don't know where she just dropped out to, but the link is in my bio as well as Capri's bio. I don't know where she went, but okay, in our bios, you can go and donate to the GoFundMe, or you can send gifts. Don't gift me, gift her, and all of the gifts are going to go towards the private investigator. Okay. But the link is in both of our bios. You can click on the link in the bio in order to donate to the GoFundMe. So I do want to get started now. I mean, pretty much you got the floor. We pretty much heard from Caprice, so we want to hear from you now. If you want to just start with just that morning, just start with just tell us the story all over again, pretty much of what happened the morning Alexis disappeared.
So that morning, I was walking to John Muir Middle School. I had graduated from timeout already. I knew Alexis because she played in a neighborhood with some other little girls in the neighborhood. So she was one of my play daughters, and then the other little girls was my play daughter because I was, a little bit older than them. So that day, she was coming down the stairs. Her stepdad was on the top porch. He had braids to the back, a beater, and some basketball shorts on. And she came down the stairs, and I was like, "What's wrong? Why are you crying? What's wrong? Why are you crying? Like, why look like you've been crying?" And she was like, well, she gave me a hug, and we talked, and then that's when I was like, "Why are you crying?" She was like, "I can't take my cupcakes to school." So we got to walking a little bit, and then we stopped at this man Vito house, which is right across the street from the school. Like, if I'm facing this way, his house is on that corner, and across the street is the school. So we was talking about the cupcakes. I don't know if it was for her birthday or if it was her turn to take treats in to school that day. I don't know if it was like treat day. You had to bring your treats for the class and stuff like that. I don't know. So at that point, we talked for a little bit. We stood on Vito's gate for a little bit. And then all of a sudden she got real excited and was like, "That's my auntie, that's my uncle, that's my auntie and my uncle." And I told her, I was like, maybe they can, talk your mom into letting you bring the cupcakes or whatever to school. And then that's when she pointed at the gray car, and she walked her to the crossing guard, the fifth grade crossing guard, and she walked across that street. The car wasn't facing towards us because it was a one-way. 49th is a one-way, so the back of the car was facing. We could see the back of the car. We couldn't see the front of the car. We only could see the back. And that's when she got up in the car, and I walked my way out, to school.
So when she went to the car, was anybody waiting on her? Did somebody open the door for her? She just opened the door. Did you see that part? Like, how did that happen?
Because, at that time it was school, so it's plenty of cars. Because that street was really busy because Stuyvesant was up the hill. So that street was really, really busy. So, cars riding past, whatever, you're not looking at it. And that's when she was like, that's my auntie, that's my uncle. Like, that's my auntie, had a smile on her face. Like, that's my auntie, that's my uncle. And I was like, where? She was like, in that car. I was like, what car? That gray car right there. And it was facing going towards Lisbon, I believe, because it was like Lisbon. And I didn't see, I just gave her a hug, walked to the car, and I took a left.
Okay. Anybody in the chat got questions? Any questions for her right now?
So when it comes to telling this story, it feels like foggy memories coming back because there's so much trauma suppressing this. But from my recollection, I saw them put her in that car. That's why I'm so sure I know who did it. And I wrote down the license plate.
When I saw you, I remember. And then when I saw you, and I remember we was like after the police left, because the police didn't do their due diligence right away. Like, they didn't go looking for her right away. They went and pointed straight at the white man Vito house. So they went to search his house right away that day. They searched his house. They didn't knock on doors or nothing. They knocked on the doors the next day. Then I believe it was there like following 2 days, that's when a helicopter's up in the air, and they didn't do it right away.
Mm-hmm. They did. They took their time. But her auntie and uncle would have been Lena and Anthony, and Yana in the backseat. This is the reason I had that license plate, and she and I made up a song to remember the license plate today. But I was the one who had the license plate number on my palm.
Yep, and I keep on I don't know if it's sure, but I know it was like AJK, because we kept on singing it every day, me and you met.
They keep coming to me too, like AJK 352 or something like that. Is what
we sung it every day when we met up.
We made up a song about it.
We have to remember this license plate. We got to remember this license plate, and we kept singing this song to each other every day.
That's why it made me cry, because everybody was trying to convince me, like, you didn't see nothing. I'm like, I did see it. That's why she been trying to brainwash me for so many years and get everybody to believe that I'm lying if I speak up, because she knows that I saw her.
Yeah.
When I was a child, so it's unbelievable what I'm saying. Like, she just knew how to play it. Like, y'all have no reason to lie about this. It was one of those things where she was trying to let me know to be terrified.
And you have to not say nothing, but I remember every day we'll meet up. We even tried to write it in a tree or something so we could remember it. Every day, Monday through Friday, we sung that song.
Yeah.
Too.
If I go over there somewhere, it's somewhere where we carved it into something or wrote it on something. Like, we was like, if we come back to this space years ago, it'll still be right there.
It'll still be right there. I don't know.
Y'all would recognize it if y'all saw that plate again. Like, if somebody showed it, y'all would know that's the plate.
I probably would know the plate. I would have to see it again.
I don't know if we wrote it on a piece of paper, buried it by a tree with a rock over it, or did we literally carve it up in a tree? I don't know which one we did, but I know that we had the license plate.
Mm-hmm. And we did do something to remember it. I think if I went walking back over there one day just trying to jog my memory, I don't remember what we did. And don't really want to say what we did right now, because you don't want nobody to go try to
Now I see why y'all was so emotional. Y'all were like really like bonded over this incident. This wasn't just.
This
That's
is
how
an
we.
everyday thing for us. Like we never missed a day together to make sure that we would remember the song. That's why I remember like when she moved and I moved, it was so sad because I'm like, I don't want to forget the song. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep in touch with her.
Wow. This is.
Oh,
Wow. This is crazy.
really
I
happened.
never
We
knew
didn't have no
this.
reason to lie. It's just that we were children at the time, so we couldn't get our part out. The investigators literally were not listening to us.
And then we end up. I don't know about her. I end up suppressing everything and just put it back there. And then my trauma from that was never transformed. And I end up transferring trauma on my kids. So now my kids not allowed to go nowhere. My kids not allowed to do nothing. If they go too far in the store, no, get back here. Somebody might take you. So I didn't know how to transform that into something.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. They asked for questions.
Wow. Okay, y'all. I just want to remind everybody that we are raising money for a private investigator. The link to the GoFundMe is in my bio, as well as Caprice's bio. And any gifts sent to her during this live, don't gift me, gift her. It's all going to go towards getting a private investigator to look more into this case.
And we have been researching already private investigators. So this is real, y'all. Like, I'm not playing about the private investigator.
Yeah, so somebody said why the police. The police did come and question me, but my mama worked at a daycare at that time, and my mama was at home because at that time everybody just stayed in the house. All the kids nobody kids go to school for that week. So when they came to question me, I told them what I knew, and then somebody else came and said he was going to give it to his lead detective. The lead detective came back and questioned me too and said he can't do nothing because it's not a done around.
And if people are wondering why it took so long to speak out, like this is not an easy thing to be able to do. And you have to be in this position. It's not easy to walk around that city and feel like your life is being threatened because you want to tell the truth. Especially like in this. So,
and I was so young. Like the persons that more than one person, two people told me don't say nothing. Two people told me don't say nothing because it was some drug dealers and you don't want them to come and take you.
Yeah, you're always feeling like your life was threatened if you knew something about this, and then having to walk home back and forth in that neighborhood, it was crazy. So you just felt like you don't say anything, you let the adults handle, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell your account of what you remember the day Alexis disappeared?
Me?
Yeah.
I remember walking to my bus stop that way. That's why I saw the car. And I actually, it's foggy. I have to remember it exactly, step by step. But I know for a fact that I was there because I'm the one that wrote down the license plate. I don't have the clearest account in the world about step by step that morning. Trying to remember as much as possible properly.
Right.
No, I'm like answering a question after that I walked to the school after Alexis disappeared. 3 days later, they had the newscast out at the school, and we all went up to the school for prayer, but that was about it.
Everybody keep asking who is Anthony.
Her uncle, that's her mama brother, and they try not to be seen together at all on any social medias for a reason. Everybody trying not to be seen together that was there, but.
So, Anthony, Lena, and Ayana used to hang out a lot.
Mm-hmm. And people think I didn't tell my daddy nothing. My daddy could not wrap his mind around this. Like, he really didn't know what to think. I was a kid. He didn't know if I was just saying that because I was mad at her or what. He didn't know what to put together. That's why you see in those pictures that they have of him, it just looked like he looking at her like, what? Who did I marry? What happened? What did you do?
Where is Anthony now?
I have no idea where these people are. I don't communicate with these people.
Somebody said Anthony D. Little. He has a history of his own.
Exactly.
Ooh, messy boots. Tell us about Anthony. What's his tea? Come on, comments. You saying Lena about the restraining order? No, Lena never got a restraining order. That's a different Lena.
That's a different Lena, y'all. That's the wrong Lena with the restraining order.
Did the police ever talk to Lena? No, she was left out of the investigation.
He said that she was investigated and passed all her stuff, but I don't know.
I heard that. But how she was left out of the investigation?
Exactly. And she said that she came over and she did come over to pick up some money from Ayana for a busted tire the day Alexis came up missing. She was like, me and Ayana never seen each other.
I don't know how true this is. That's why I kind of like brushed past it at my first live. I said it's neither here nor there. But Alexis used to always tell me about like how the stepdad, I don't know how true it was, used to like fight the mom and hit the mom. So I don't know how true that was.
I heard Ayana was the one abusing him. I heard that he showed up to somebody's house like bruised up, and they was like, "Dang, she did it again."
Always fighting. She loved to fight. Very violent. Always.
And that's why they used to say. That's I guess because she was a little girl, she thought it was the other way around. I mean, when I say she came, when she did come out the house, it wasn't often. But when she did come out the house, I'd be there giving her a hug, and we'll play and run around the trees and. But when she did sit down with me and the other little girl, that's when we'll talk about it. We'll just give her a hug and tell her it's okay because she told us it was him, but it was probably the mama, so she didn't know. She just saw that her mom was getting hurt, and she was a really sweet little girl. So I don't understand.
Okay, so.
I just think it's important for people to know that she and I do know each other, and that the incident took place.
Until the incident took place,
the case that investigators will not listen to.
Yeah, so that's how me and her became talking every day for like a year. We was talking every day for like a year. We met every day because Alexis told me who she was, and I walked up to her and I was like, "Are you Alexis' sister?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then I told her what I saw. And then she was like, "What is it?"
And I'm like, "I got the license plate." And we just started exchanging stories, what we knew, trying to remember stuff for each other. And then I remember us making up that song.
So when you was friends with Alexis, have you ever noticed her with any like bruises on her? Was she ever like?
No, I never saw her. I'm not gonna lie, say I did. I never saw her with bruises because a lot of times she came outside with a jacket. She come outside with a jacket. It didn't matter what the weather, she had on a jacket.
Her mama was beating her though. If that's what y'all want to know, she beat her whenever she felt like beating somebody.
If you just said in the summer with a jacket on, I can imagine.
She used to beat her.
Wow.
Just all the time. Her whole family knows this. It was always.
Milwaukee Police Department 100% dropped the ball because it was one white man on the block, and that was their full focus on that white man. That white man still lives there to this day. His name is Vito. Y'all want to go knock on his door and ask him what he think happened, he would say the same thing. They came straight to him. The whole neighborhood was outside mad at the police because why is y'all just targeting this man? He's the only white man in the neighborhood. He was quiet. He kept to himself. Only thing he did was sit outside and work on his cars.
Right. Did you know the neighbor she brought the duffel bag from?
Was it Alea? Zakia?
I haven't read her name yet. It just says a neighbor.
Was she Muslim?
It doesn't say. It says that she brought a pink and purple duffel bag and a briefcase in a suitcase.
I remember that happening. She did,
but she never returned the duffel bag.
Yeah, and that woman kept asking for her bag.
Was it on my side of the street or was it across the street? Because I knew everybody over there.
I know you did. I can't even remember exactly where that woman lived at. I just remember she used to ask for her bag all the time. and get sent off.
And
I don't know, but I want that neighbor to come forward. I
She
wish.
knows who she is. She knows exactly who she is because she was asking for her bag for a while.
two women over there that was like really friends with like knew everybody. So that was Ikea, and the other one was Deborah. So
And it was a name brand set or something. I remember that. That's why she was so upset.
that got to be Zakia then.
You remember the lady that lived upstairs?
They had to be Zakia.
Was she next door? I think it was her next door.
They said she was next door.
It was that next door lady because they was cool. It was her. And she was asking for her bag all the time.
Do y'all know how to get in touch with her today?
I probably could go. I know. They was like really good friends with mine.
Yeah, that treasure chest is a real thing, and I haven't seen anything about that in any news articles for her to be bringing that up, which is where I'm at with it right now. Like
Treasure chest.
Natasha did. She mentioned this black treasure chest in her live. And Ayana knows why it's significant, why I keep asking Tasha need to tell what she's talking about with that treasure chest. I don't want to say it in public yet. I want it to come out organically. That's why I keep saying I haven't seen any news articles or anything yet about this treasure chest, and it's a significant piece to this for her talking about it. And if she knows about that treasure chest like that, just randomly, if it's not in any news article.
Baby, I done looked at every article, every documentary, every piece of video, and I ain't never heard nothing about no treasure chest. The only treasure I know is Treasure Campbell.
That was Alexis's favorite. You was crazy. That was Alexis's favorite treasure chest. And for it to be coming up the way Tashanika is bringing it up, I need her to remember why she's saying that. I haven't seen it in anything reported.
How would she know that information?
And it was one of those things that I kept close to my heart. Like, I'm not going to mention that, but I know if it come up, I know something. I know something.
It's too many instances with Tasha Unique where people are like, how does she know that?
And they trying to lie and say it's in the news, and I can't find what she's talking about in the news. But I know
I haven't seen nothing about that tree yet in the news.
Who is Tasha Nick, the one who came down?
The one that's saying she thinks she Alexis, she want to get DNA tested.
Well, that's who triggered me.
Yeah, that's what caused me to come forward too. She was saying too many things that was like, yeah, it's time to talk. Why she's just standing on certain stuff that nobody else would be standing on concerning this case.
She the one who triggered me too, so I was like, I need to talk.
So for if nothing else, I thank her for doing that.
First live, I was like, if she can tell me, but now she would know. I had made a comment under a post that somebody had posted her. And I was like, if she could tell me where I was standing, where she was standing, and where her dad was standing, I believe she who she was.
You see, she keeps saying, I guess she don't remember much from her childhood right now, so that's why she's trying to put stuff together. She said it was always some trauma involved, so she can't remember just like, just little memories that kids would have. She just remember a lot of trauma.
I got a question. Do you know if her dad saw her get in the car?
He didn't see that. I don't believe he seen that.
Like it was a house standing over the house, and then it's a big old tree. So he saw, as far as me walking her to buy Vito where Vito Gate first started.
So they purposely parked out of his view. Where he wouldn't know.
We waited for him to not be on that porch. Because that was common for him to stand on that porch and watch Alexis walk to somebody that she knew. And that whole neighborhood was like a family. So it was no reason to be.
Walked her to school. I don't know where everybody said walk her to school. He never walked her to school.
That man was innocent that whole time.
And Ayana knows that. Yes. But of course he's saying walk because he don't want to sound irresponsible like he ain't watching his child. But he always watched her from the porch. It was just a friend or the crossing guard would make sure she got to school, and he would just watch from the porch and make sure that she made it all the way.
It shouldn't be a 5th grade crossing guard, because if it was an adult, they would have noticed why is a little girl walking across the street and getting in a car.
They gave all the 5th grade, I guess if you had a certain GPA, they gave them the little orange badge to go, to cross the kids across the street.
And they
So
trained them and everything. They would train them over the summer and everything.
it was always a kid, and then Dust is up in the playground waiting for their class.
That's not appropriate. I'm
Well,
sorry.
they don't do it no more, but they was doing it back then.
Had it been an adult, maybe this would have turned out differently. Maybe they would have noticed the car and been able to tell the police, hey, it was license plate. I thought it was suspicious when I saw it. I just didn't say nothing,
We would have. Because we were all minors, so we weren't even allowed to talk.
Lord knows if that crossing guard even spoke up and said, maybe they'll come forward. But
Exactly.
I hope whoever the little girl was, she do, because it'd be one right there before you cross the street, and one to make sure you get across the street on the other side. So it'd be two. So
it's two. Okay, it's a possibility one of them saw it. Hopefully they'll come forward.
like I said, I didn't believe when I saw her when I came back from CLC. But school would be over late. If the police wasn't even there, it was just a whole bunch of people consoling her mama, just a whole bunch of people, and the police wasn't even there. And mind you, the police station is right there, right across the street from 49th Street, right across the street from McBob's.
Oh, okay. I know where that's at.
They asked me questions. Somebody said,
We all got different maybe y'all got the same chat.
oh, somebody said, was it a rumor a while ago that Alexis, yeah, okay, so I'm going to tell y'all this. I've been hearing this for years about somebody being in a mental institution saying that they were Alexis Patterson and wanted to be entered into the missing persons database, and they were being ignored. That it was like going around in the streets, and I heard it from more than one person.
Is that Tashunique?
That's what everybody was thinking.
Because they said that somebody said that they gave Tashunique a DNA test.
Yeah, she said that I guess they saying that, but it wasn't done properly.
I sent you a picture. I don't know if you got it because I didn't know how to send it to you. It was a picture of me July 4th for all the moms whose kids was shot and killed by the police. Mm-hmm. And Alexis' mama was there speaking. And I don't know why when I saw her, I got some bad chills and I just took my kids and I left. I don't know, but I just took my kids and left. She was there at the police. We marched from Sherman all the way to the police station, Burline, and she was there speaking. They had her as a speaker.
Oh, why would... What?
She like this.
Am I the only one that's over here like, why would they do that for? What's she got to do with that?
She don't care. She's just hiding in plain sight in front of everybody. She's been doing it for years. This investigation was never handled properly from the beginning. They just tunnel visioned it.
I would have rather had Seville Smith's brother than her. Like, it's so many different people you can have besides Ayanna Patterson. Like, that made no sense. Was this pre-Seville Smith?
It was... My son is 5 now. So it was like 4 years ago.
That was after Seville Smith did. Wow. Yeah, that's no reason to have Ayanna. That was pointless. Mm-hmm. So that must mean like she tight with the police or something.
I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. Because I thought
that's a nice little clue. That speaks volumes right there. We gonna figure out why she was there.
And I don't know. It's just like when I finally start, that girl who I keep talking about, she triggered something. And like when I just sat there, it's like for a whole week I had got sunk into a depression because it seemed like all that stuff all the memories start flowing back, and I started realizing what had happened, and I had just laid in my bed, just got up just to make sure my kids ate, and laid back in my bed.
It just felt like it was time. And my thing is, like, if she turned out not to be, she still says so many truths that it's ridiculous. She's speaking a lot of truth.
Something is it's like you can't dismiss her. You just cannot just dismiss her.
How I
She's
feel.
too accurate. It's something there. Like I can't figure out what it is, but it's something there. And the fact that her and Ayana are both so like spiritual, and some of the words they be saying, I don't even understand, but they do. It's like, why do y'all think the same? Why are y'all
More that come out about that, y'all just stay tuned. Just give her some time.
Like it's at this moment, I feel like the other girl who came saying she Alexis Patterson, it's just so much going on in her mind, and she don't know how to focus. Like if she just focus, and like she probably need to take off her shoes, sit in the sun, and reground herself. If she just focus, she'll be able to, talk so people will believe her and understand it. She got herself looking crazy, like she's a crazy person.
Somebody keeps saying, why did she push her down the steps? Tasha Nick mentioned that. What is she talking about?
Yana pushing Alexis down the steps, or Yana pushed Tasha Nick down some steps?
Apparently Alexis downstairs.
All I know is she used to do some really crazy mean stuff too. I ain't gonna tell her what all she did.
I don't know what Tasha Nick mentioned. I haven't seen a lot of Tasha Nick's videos and lives and stuff. I've just seen like snippets that I've been like tagged.
I'm gonna show you something that you probably missed. I don't think she's crazy. I think she's going through a lot.
I don't think she's crazy. I think she's very spiritual, and I don't understand the words she be using, so I get lost really quickly.
That's why I said she needs to sit down and reground herself and figure out how to speak so people won't think she's crazy. Because at this moment, she's like, you have to speak, and basically, when you're a spiritual person, you have to speak in layman terms for everybody else.
It'll come out. Whatever's supposed to come out will come out.
Is the case still open? It's a cold case right now. Hopefully, it will become open now that we have people coming forward.
And that's why we're trying to get an investigator.
Exactly. A private investigator can get the DMV records and figure out, who owned the car, and then maybe show them each 5 different license plates and say pick out the one. And if they can identify the license plates, like that's obviously something there. Whoever owned that car, go like. At the end of the day, if we find out who picked up Alexis from school that day, it's nothing they can say that they're innocent, because you didn't come forward all these years and say you picked that girl up. You're guilty.
They've been hiding in plain sight the whole time.
And I still think we might got the letter scrambled, but I know if AJ came up in there. I just don't know how the license plates go.
It ain't scrambled.
AJ.
That's right. That sounds so familiar. And I don't know why I'm thinking AJK like 352 or something. I don't know why that keep coming to my mind.
And I don't know if we dug it in the grass and put a rock, or did we write it on that tree, but I know it's by a tree. It's by the brick house. The brick house. By the brick house, like right next to my house, but it was the brick house.
We need to talk in private so nobody don't go over there trying to scrape it.
Right, y'all gotta talk about that in private. Y'all can get that license plate, amazing. But a private investigator, like at this point, we know it's somebody who knew Ayana. So it ain't that many possibilities. Somebody who's close to her that she trusts, which is Lena, Anthony, like one of them.
And then nobody else would have did it because they love Alexis.
Like everything that I've heard about Alexis is she was so sweet. She was a kind, like a child, like any other child.
But she was really, really sweet. She was very loving, very affectionate.
And I was like that was my friend. Like it when it all started coming back, I was very emotional. Like I'm just pushing this away, but that was literally my friend.
Ooh. Okay, I'm trying to look for some other questions.
Somebody said Vito the white man used to go with Lisa in the comments, and I was trying to look for that comment again.
Who is Lisa?
I didn't know that.
Somebody in the comments just said that. Can you run that back again?
You got to scroll it on your comments.
I think we all got the same comments, I think.
Oh.
So that means somebody know exactly who I am if they know Vito.
Right. It's a lot of people from Milwaukee in here. I've been seeing a lot of people from Milwaukee come in. Shout out 414. I've definitely been seeing y'all in the comments. They said, what was that Muslim lady name?
What was that Muslim name?
The Muslim lady.
Zakia. I
Zakia.
know. Zakia.
Zakia.
So it was either Zakia or Brenda. Brenda's son name is Antonio. And then she just had a baby. We used to call him Bobby.
I don't know why you can't pin.
I'm trying to find the comment upstairs in my room.
Tasha Nick mentioned yesterday that she's living in
Yeah, you got the ability to pin.
She have a husband, a Muslim lady, they said.
Can't get it. It's too many comments.
Tasha Nick said something about a birthmark. So the only thing I know about the birthmark is that Ayana and Lisa's boyfriend said that her birthmark was on her buttocks, but apparently during the first investigation, Ayana said that it was on her back. So that was conflicting. Kind of like Ayana was just saying whatever to say Lisa's is Alexis when she know that that's not even possible, especially due to the wide age gap. Yeah, sorry. They said
You gotta get DNA. At the end of the day, nothing about this case can be solved without DNA.
The brown door was on the side of their house. I believe it was like a shelf, like part of the basement. Basically, that was that little brown door was like part of the basement.
that brown door. The police said they weren't going to investigate. That turned out. They said that wasn't the uncle who came over and interrupted them. That was some man that lived across the way. So we don't really know if that brown door even has anything to do with the case.
It's supposed to be connected to her grandma's house or something.
Yeah, it's connected to Grandma Campbell's house.
It's just a part of the house. I remember that because we used to run back and forth.
I remember they used to talk about that crawl space a lot all the time during it when this first happened.
Yeah, everybody know I should have came out when I was like 18 or something, but those were suppressed memories. Anybody know about suppressed memories? You put them in the back of your head and think about it.
And I've been trying. I literally just been given the run around for years, not knowing which direction to go in or how to get any help. Anytime you talk to anybody, you have to have a lawyer subpoena something done. So
Get down.
it takes money.
Like they was gonna take what I said once again and do nothing with it because we got brushed off already. We go off again, and I went back to the police and do what they were supposed to do. Y'all took a whole day checking one man house when y'all should have been canvassing everybody. And even though I was young, y'all still should have took that little piece of information and asked the mama who was this in a gray car. Just that little piece. We don't know nothing like that, but who got a gray car?
The way she was acting and the way she showed up, though, they didn't even think to suspect her. She had everything already.
Fell out, all laying across the stairs. She fell out.
Okay, we're done.
And then somebody said about the reason why I said the library is because it broke ground. They had just broke ground that year at the library. Her mama house, the house Alexis Patterson used to live in, that's the house that burned down. I drove over here like 6 years ago just to look at the house and it wasn't there no more. Somebody bought it and made it a parking lot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it got burned down.
Who house got burned down?
My daddy's house, the house Alexis used to live in. At the time, his wife's son's girlfriend burnt the house down while they was living in it.
The grandma's still there.
He
If
was
that's why Takumi found the tree
talking.
instead. But how would she know about the tree? Like that, it just
That's
makes
what I
no
want
sense.
to know. It's a
I
few
have to
things. How did
talk
you know?
about off of here. I'm gonna tell about the.
Oh wow. Okay. Um, we don't know why the house got burned down. If it was for a reason or what. I mean, the police had already searched, so what else could they have found? You know what I'm saying? Um, but that library on Lisbon, what part? Like when she went missing, what part were they in building it? Was that like right before? What stage of construction?
When they had just broke ground. They had just like this what we was finna build. It was still like crumbled on the ground, like debris and stuff.
Okay, so it was like, was it dirt still? Oh, that's why everybody's saying they just broke ground. Like they just. Oh wow, oh wow.
Yep, so my main goal now is just to get us a private investigator for real that can really, really dig through the pieces of this case that needs to be researched and investigated and get some solutions.
Honestly, if the police had took this information back then, they could have solved it.
She would have been. Even though I was a minor, you heard what I said. So you still listened to what I said. So you could have took that information anonymous and took it to the mama. Somebody saw such and such.
I don't. Everybody want us to tag Tasha. I mean, bring Tasha Unique up here. I don't. I don't know how. I don't know where she's at. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
She don't really want to talk until she want to talk, and she's not really ready to do like this.
Yeah. Like Tasha Unique isn't. I don't know what she's like. She said she want to talk when she want to talk.
So gotta let her process whatever she processes how she needs to process it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, y'all could tag her.
Me and you could probably get our voice and speak.
Could tag her in here.
Yeah. It's still a lot to talk about behind the scenes because, of course, y'all don't want to reveal some things because y'all want to be able to chance to, like look into it yourselves first. But thank y'all for sharing the parts that y'all are sharing with everybody. I feel like everybody can put their brain together. Maybe some people watching this have connections that we don't have. Maybe y'all got an auntie who work for the DMV who can look up the records from 2001 and see did certain people with certain names own these type of cars, and inbox us and let us know. Maybe there's a police officer watching this. Maybe there's a detective who will find it to their heart to reopen the case.
Any help?
Any help? Maybe it's somebody watching this who can donate the money for a private investigator. Link is in the bio.
Point us in the direction.
Like, if the police won't do it, the private investigator definitely will.
Exactly, and that's where I'm at with it. Like, we just need some real answers at this point.
Yeah.
Is this keep bringing it back up every single year just for like a hype and then it die back down? Like, this is serious. We're ready to solve it.
Every year, like when Lisa came, it was like, oh my God, we got closure. It's like, what? Okay. And then it's just like, dang, that's not her.
An emotional roller coaster. That's why we need to get it solved. So hopefully, we keep getting more and more.
Lena hasn't said anything. Lena don't want to speak. Ayana don't want to speak. I've asked Ayana to do an interview. She will not speak out loud. Every time she opens up her mouth, she contradicts herself and she tells another lie. So I don't think she want to do that again. You know what I'm saying? Ayana don't want to talk, and Lena has yet to give an interview. So Lena not gonna do Treasure. I'm trying to get a hold of Treasure to see if she wants to speak because, like she said, the Campbells been quiet too long. So I want the Campbells to stop being quiet. Come on and speak up. I'm giving them a platform to do so. We ready to hear anything the Campbells got to say. So if Treasure could return my messages, I would greatly appreciate it. Anybody got something they want to say? Any other questions? Where's Kenya? And can everybody keep asking, can Ken do a DNA test with Tasha? Where is Ken? Is he in jail?
Is who what?
Ken? Alexis' birth father?
I heard he about to get out soon.
Because I know he wrote that book, but the book isn't released yet, right?
It should be being released soon. And I heard he was getting out soon. I don't know.
Yeah, so Ken can't do no DNA test from behind the bar.
So what?
He can.
What was Ayana's response when you
If
asked?
the police like do it, but not like a private one, like if we want to pay for it.
Have to swab his mouth and send it off.
Right. Somebody would have to go visit him, swab his mouth.
What was Ayana's response when you said you wanted to do the interview?
Ayana ain't responded. She won't respond to nothing. She don't want to talk. Ayana don't want to say a word. And if I was her personally, I want to speak out, at least clear my name and say, y'all, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate y'all being concerned for what happened with my baby, and I want y'all to stay concerned, but it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? This is my account from that day. This is what I remember. Like something, but to sit there and be quiet, you're just showing everybody you're guilty.
She don't keep telling lies anyway, so she don't need to tell no more.
The only reason why we think the uncle was in the car is because Alexis said my auntie and uncle. Nobody knows.
He was seen in the car. I'm telling you, they did. They know they did.
Well, we don't know. As far as what we none of us saw the people in the car.
Like the car, just saw the back of the car.
Right. So.
And you know, it was just a day she crying, just over some cupcakes, whatever. And I didn't think, like, let me go look in his car because we didn't know this was going to happen.
I don't think personally, like, if it's impossible for Alexis had to be in Milwaukee city limits after school let out. After everybody knew she was missing, it's impossible for her to be anywhere within the city because we all knew her face. We all knew it. There's no way. So, everybody keep asking in the comments, do y'all believe Alexis is still alive?
I don't know what to think.
I have hope, but I mean, like I said, I couldn't get sleep for days.
You hope she is.
I pray she's alive. I pray that Alexis can come and tell her story one day. I'm getting emotional. I don't like getting emotional, y'all. I don't. But when the man freed that girl, Amanda Berry, from the house, that gave me a lot of hope. Amanda Berry was gone for how many years? Everybody wrote her off. Just how we wrote Alexis off, they wrote her off. And that woman is home with her family today. She's having Christmas with them this year. So it's hope.
I'm hoping at least that we just get the truth, whatever that is.
Yes, the truth. If we follow that car, maybe we'll find Alexis. Maybe we'll find her alive. Maybe she has two beautiful daughters, two babies. You never know. What could be? I pray she's alive. I pray that the new testimonies, the new witnesses can lead to something. The private investigator is necessary because I don't push GoFundMes. I don't. Y'all will never see me push a GoFundMe on my page because I don't like people asking for money. I don't back people asking for money. This is a one-in-a-lifetime thing for me because I truly believe that Milwaukee Police Department failed Alexis. Mm-hmm. And for us to sit there and count on them to do it right this time, that would be ignorant of us. It would be naive of us to expect these people to care about this little black girl from the hood. Especially 20 years later, they don't care.
Right.
We have to care. So that's the only reason why I'm pushing this GoFundMe. That's the only reason I'm here today is because I want to see justice for her. If that was my little sister, my little cousin, I would want somebody to care. I would want somebody to give a care enough to try to at least figure out what happened.
That's exactly where I'm at, and I'm so appreciative of so many people actually caring about what happened. It's overwhelming. I wasn't expecting this response.
The car, it was either a Buick or a Delta 88, silver, license plates AJK. That's we would need either the police or a private investigator to look that up. We have nothing we can do with that information. There's nothing. We have to. Please, y'all, donate to the GoFundMe if y'all can. A couple dollars, everybody, we can make it happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna donate too because
if we can get this solved, I truly want to bring her home.
Me too. Close this case and get some real answers.
And it sucks to know that her mom doesn't even want her home as much as we do.
That's why we need to really find out what happened.
That's why I know something not right. She did something. She sold. Something happened. And to think that somebody would do that to a child, you honestly would have to know about what happens in the world. And a lot of people are naive. But there are people in some countries who have children in order to sell them. It happens every day. Every day. And you can go look up the documentaries. It's scary. It's sick. Babies, y'all. Babies. It's nothing. How y'all think those people got on Epstein Island? Do y'all think all those was missing kids? None of those kids they found on Epstein Island were reported missing from their families. Did y'all notice that? A whole bunch of missing kids didn't come home when that happened because those people sold their kids. So to think that she wouldn't do that, that's naive. It happens every day in this world. Now that we hear their testimony, we know that LaRon didn't see what happened to Alexis. He didn't see her get in the car. And I think if he was involved, then why would they need to park out of his eyesight?
right, that's true. Why would they park out of his eyesight?
That's why it makes sense for his lie detector to they said that he failed when it was like, do he know what could have happened to her, where she could have been? That would make sense if he had a feeling like, yes, I feel like she did something. I feel like she knows. So yes, I felt that part. That would make sense because I feel like you know who you with. You know, like I know anytime I've been with anybody, I know you like the back of my hand. And you may think I don't. I know when you lying. I know you telling the truth. I know everything. You cannot lie to somebody who you laying next to every night. So if anybody knew Ayanna was lying, LaRon would be the one.
Yeah. And he really, like, you really didn't. He was one of them guys in the neighborhood that you knew was there, but you really didn't see him. But you knew where he lived and he was supposed to be here.
The license plates, they don't know the full license plates. They just know it was like AJK, most likely.
That was it. I remember that.
We heard that
It's gonna come out because everything's been coming. You know, it just come back to you slowly, where you just realize that you saw what you saw and you weren't crazy.
I want to know how how Ayanna passed that lie detector test with flying colors. Like, it's too much evidence against her.
you can smoke and pass a lie detector test. You can pop a pill, pass a lie detector. It's plenty of ways.
That would make sense because she was so, baby, I can tell by her videos, she ain't no stranger to drugs.
I wanted to say something to what we talked about in the neighborhood. The day after Alexis went missing, she went back to the strip club the next day. That's what all of us was saying in the neighborhood. Like the day after Alexis Patterson was missing, she was out at the club.
I've heard that from so many people. Somebody said she was out at the club on Villard. Is that the strip club that she was at? Yeah, I've heard that several times that she was seen out at the club on Villard right after Alexis disappeared. And they was like, yeah, baby just went missing. Why was you partying? Everybody kept saying that. It makes no sense to be partying or baby missing. Baby, I wouldn't be able to eat, sleep, drink.
I wouldn't be able to I'd be
Exactly.
so.
The that's true. I believe that because y'all know how Milwaukee is. Like it gets around fast, and don't nobody just make stuff up and stand on it. Like, come on now. She was at the club, and
It
only
sounds
she
just
could
like
answer to her.
Casey Anthony stuff.
It's definitely giving Casey Anthony. What was the man? What was the male version? Dang, Wyatt Watts, Christopher Watts. That's his name, Christopher Watts. That's who Ayanna reminds me of. Y'all remember how calm he was on camera? And he was just like, when he went in the house looking for them and he opened the door, Christopher Watts was just so calm. That's how Ayanna gets me. Just
Time to turn the pressure up, y'all. We got to get us some answers. Y'all can't give up.
You gotta turn the pressure up on Ayanna. It's like
yeah.
I don't want to talk, but I'm gonna talk in the background.
The private investigator, I feel like it's the best way to like get answers from her, because at the end of the day, if they dig so much and find out, so she got an answer. Like she has to. I'm sure whatever they come up with is going to lead back to her. That's at every investigation I read. The investigator said every lead led back to Ayanna and LaRon. That's what they said. Now, I don't believe the LaRon part. I believe it led back to Ayanna, and they was trying to blame LaRon because of the police officer incident. Nothing I've seen besides the police stating it is pointing at LaRon. Nothing. But, well, besides the rumors about the going around in jail with the people saying that it was the Owen, the dealer. But knowing how much LaRon loved kids, that don't make sense to me.
They would have tried to get me or my brother.
That didn't make sense to me. And then for the dealer to try to take a child that's not biologically his,
I'm saying,
and then she was older, which means that it's kind of smarter to take an older one versus a child. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean. I don't know. It don't make sense. That scenario, I don't believe. And then especially after the new witness testimony, she's sitting here in our face telling us that LaRon was on that porch. Okay? She saw Alexis get in a car out of his eye shot. That lets us know that he didn't have nothing to do with it. He didn't know. So it's back to Ayanna. Ayanna didn't spend the night at the house that night. So where was Ayanna at when this was going on?
Supposedly at Lena house.
Why Ayanna didn't tell the police that? That's my own. Why didn't she tell the police? You know, we got into an argument. I spent the night at my friend's house. I came home. What's the problem with that? Why leave that out?
That's what we all wondering.
Why Ayanna didn't tell the police?
So can you clarify who are your siblings? Like on your dad's side, who are his kids?
It's me, Aisha, Omni, Yanni, Dasani. I got a baby sister and a baby brother. And I got a sister that's in Atlanta. Her name's Vania.
Whoa. Your daddy got a lot of kids. They in the comment like, Dasani your brother? Dasani your brother? I'm like,
All them kids she posted acting like they hers. Most of them my daddy kids.
So they said Dasani was there that day.
A baby. She didn't know what was going on.
That's the girl that went live? The light-skinned girl?
She don't know what's going on. She know
That's your sister?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So you and your sister is into it.
I'm not into it with anybody. They are brainwashed against me. They are brainwashed against me because I speak the truth and nobody knows that this is for real the truth. And when Ayanna found out that I was telling them the truth, she turned them against me.
That's wild. Why would they believe? First of all, Dasani, with all due respect, sis, you was a baby. You don't know that.
And that's what I was trying to tell all of them as they sister, like, y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all for real what's up. Listen.
I mean, you have to believe their mom is a monster.
Everybody brainwashed.
Nobody wants to believe their mom is a monster, but you got to look at the facts. You got to stop believing her. Tell her to put down
The child gonna ride
and
with
tell
their
y'all what happened.
They gonna ride with their parent, but I don't have no reason to lie. She got them thinking I just hate her so much. I made up this story against her for whatever reason, and it's not true. It really happened.
Y'all, I know firsthand dealing with the Milwaukee Police Department, they're not going to do anything. First of all, anybody who has faith in the Milwaukee Police Department, all I want you to do is pick up the phone, call Access Speak with the cold case unit, tell them you have a new tip revolving the Alexis Patterson case, and see if you get hung up on, see how they treat you, see if they take you any piece of seriously, and then come back here and tell me to contact the Milwaukee Police Department, because you act like I haven't. I ain't had that conversation.
Exactly.
They don't care.
They don't care if you walk in with the information either.
They don't care. Milwaukee Police Department is a whole joke. All they do is let people take them on high speeds and outrun them all day. That's it.
They ain't trying to solve nothing.
Like, the private investigator is needed. Y'all, I've been doing TikTok for 5 years now. Y'all don't see me post GoFundMe's. This is a whole different case. This has to happen. Because I don't see no other option. Otherwise, I feel like we hit a brick wall.
Exactly.
We got all the information we need, everything to figure out what happened to her that day. We know what car it was. We know she got into a car. We know that LaRon didn't walk her to the bus stop. We know that the license plate is something like AJK. We know that it can be recognized as long as somebody is able to say, hey, is this the license plate? We can be like, okay, yes, that's it. That's it. So we have so much that we didn't have beforehand. An investigator needs to put it together and find the rest. And they can.
Exactly.
They have the tools. Most private investigators, they're ex-police officers. They have clearances. They're able to look in databases that we cannot look in. So y'all saying you can find DMV records online? No, you cannot. Go look at what car I drive right now.
You need somebody that can access the right databases, like you said.
Not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Contact Steve. I don't know who Steve is.
I'm talking about Steve Wilco, this lady Anderson.
Steve Wilkos. What is Steve Wilkos gonna do?
He the investigator, not Steve.
Girl, we need a private investigator. Link in bio. Go donate a couple dollars, because Steve Wilkos ain't gonna get us nowhere. Baby. That was a cute little joke. He ain't gonna investigate nothing. And Steve Wilkos is there for the mess, and half of that stuff be fake, I found out. Don't believe Steve Wilkos. How many times you see anybody from Steve Wilkos end up in jail? Exactly. Come on now. I literally report on this stuff for a living. I've yet to see any of the cases go to trial. So I don't believe Steve Wilkos is true. Do I think LaRon was murdered? No, I do not believe LaRon was murdered. I believe if they were going to murder him, they would have did it way beforehand. Everybody in agreement?
Yep, they would have killed him way before. Or, we don't know. What if he said he was going to say something?
Well, yeah. Well, if it was like weighing on him and yeah, you're right. You're right. But also, I don't like to speak on stuff like that. But it was like a wave of like over, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of those going on around that time. Because the F word just hit the streets around then. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Fenty. That had just hit the streets around then. So it's kind of like, could have been somebody gave him it on purpose, because, you know what I'm saying? So we can't rule nothing out because none of us was there. We do not know.
I don't know. Yep, we don't know. But I know after that case, he had got on drugs real bad after she came to medicine.
I don't think any of these two need a lie detector test, only because they corroborated each other's stories. Like, they didn't talk behind the scenes. We decided to talk today in front of y'all so y'all can see the raw reaction. What y'all just saw was raw and real. This is our first time talking. We don't have a group chat. We haven't spoken on the phone, none of this. That's why in the beginning it was hard for us to get in contact and figure out how to do this, because we didn't talk about it beforehand. So this isn't planned. This is raw. They just corroborate each other's story in front of y'all in real time.
Like what? I was like 16 the last time I saw her.
Ask is any PD, anybody, a sheriff, a deputy, or anybody in the chat right quick.
Is it any PD or deputy in the chat?
Anybody that works for the police.
Anybody that works for any police department in the chat.
Anybody that's done investigation.
Anybody that's ever done investigation in the chat.
Anybody who can help with investigation in the chat. Anybody with any.
Because I want to clear.
Your mom worked there. Let me know if your auntie Susie worked there.
No, I want to clear some inconsistencies.
Just say it.
No.
The last time I saw her.
Tag the police.
About what should happen, like what.
That don't. Tag the police don't do that. Most of those pages is fake. The police don't have a TikTok page.
They keep saying Ayana colorist. Yeah, she don't like black. Alexis was too black for her.
I believe Ayana is a colorist because I watched the video of her talking about Tosh Unique and the way she was talking about like black nappy head. Look at the messages. She don't like black.
She try to isolate me like I'm just so black too. Like, girl, get out of here. She love to try to make somebody feel isolated over anything, but especially if you black.
And I have insight to a lot of people. Now, I don't believe I'm light-skinned. Me personally, I don't. And some light-skinned people think I am. And they say things in front of me that I'm like, oh, that is not cool.
Exactly.
Why do you think about dark-skinned people like that? I had a friend say that they would never put their mouth on a dark-skinned person because they don't look clean.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nasty towards brown skin.
I couldn't believe. I love dark skin. My baby is dark skin. I love some chocolate.
Any complexion.
But there are definitely colorists out there who think that they are disgusting. They think they are above them. They call them names and tar babies and monkeys and say they look like they're from Africa and African booty scratchers and go back to the Congo, all of that stuff. Yes, there are light-skinned people who say that about dark skin every day, yes.
Somebody said we need to walk and do justice for Alexis. That's a good idea.
You said we need to do what?
March and do justice for Alexis. Somebody just said it in the comment. I said that idea to bring awareness back to the city.
Definitely. When is her anniversary?
Yeah, it was May 3rd or something.
Oh yeah, it was just in May. Oh, okay. And her birthday was then around then too.
And May 3rd is Alexis Patterson Day in Milwaukee.
Right.
We need to do it like next month on the 3rd.
That would be nice.
Just on the 3rd, and then everybody just bring get purple balloons and just release them.
How many people are in Milwaukee? Is there a lot of people in Milwaukee here that'll show up? I know people show up for Alexis Patterson, but my problem is Ayana trying to boycott it. That's the only issue.
We can have some people that that would make her even look worse if she tried to boycott that.
You can't make nobody not march for justice. She can just get mad about it, but she can't make nobody not do it. She can't stop it.
But that's what has to happen.
Right.
A lot of people in here talking about Milwaukee. Me, I'm from Milwaukee. I'm here. So it's a lot of people keep saying they from Milwaukee. So it's enough of us so we can march on 49th and North Avenue to the school and release balloons up in High Mount.
Let's do that. Let's plan it and
it have to be like on the 3rd. I'm sorry, y'all. These my dogs. It have to be on the 3rd though because that's what you came to listen.
so on the 3rd, y'all, we're gonna plan something. I'm gonna push it. We're gonna let you know as soon as we get everything finalized. And hopefully I'm able to come to Milwaukee. I haven't been there in like 4 years now. I miss home.
Wow.
But I'll be there standing in the gap for everybody.
No, I'm gonna try to come. Like, don't play with me. I love my city. I miss Milwaukee so much.
I love so. Okay, right back.
Where you moved to?
Me, I went to Savannah, Georgia.
You didn't like it?
Too quiet.
You said what?
Too quiet, and Texas was too fast. I need something in between.
I'm in Dallas, and yeah, I have to get used to it. It's really fast. Really fast.
Because I was in Houston.
Oh, Houston, that's a step above. You should have came to Dallas first. You got to baby steps, baby steps. Houston, and I know why you said it's too fast. Heck yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's a big old dirty Milwaukee.
They be trying to pick me up. Chandra, come get me. They trying to pick me up. I don't like Houston, girl. I was scared out there. I'm telling you, Houston a whole nother place.
Houston got 2 weeks of my life. And I like,
wow, 2 weeks and you left.
Wow.
Man, my mom just moved back to Milwaukee, so I'll be there to visit soon. Like now I ain't gotta pay for hotel and all that. I can borrow her car. I'll be there. As soon as we get something finalized, I'm gonna get the flyers and stuff, send it out to y'all so we can all do this. Who putting phone numbers in the chat? Don't be doing that.
I just saw that.
Who phone number is that?
And then I got an address.
Who address y'all putting out? Don't be doing that.
Somebody said they want.
Y'all some investigators. Y'all sell. They said that's Alina phone number and address.
I ain't got no extra phone. I will call her on speakerphone right now. Let me screenshot it.
Milwaukee don't be playing. Y'all is crazy. Y'all been getting down.
I love my city. Milwaukee is.
But when it comes down to it, be some rioters.
Baby, I love my city. No matter what nobody say. Okay.
Somebody said they finna call it. Okay, call it.
Yeah, I call it.
Call it. Who got an extra phone? Call it.
Call her.
I want to be like, we're live right now. We got some questions for you. We do not play, okay? Milwaukee is one thing. Milwaukee gonna be is petty. Can I get an amen? Gonna be petty. They say use text now. I'm dead. I don't have an extra phone here, y'all. My other phone broke. I ain't been. This phone broke too. I ain't been to the Apple store.
I got like 6 broke phones right now.
What's wrong with all these iPhones breaking? This one I got, anytime the slightest bump, it'll die. And then I have to plug it up to a charger to turn it back on. And it's a 15.
No, sir.
No, sir. I like that song. Yes, sir. Okay, I'll get too deep, y'all. I got ADHD. Let's pull, y'all, Milwaukee, we got to come together for Alexis Patterson because honestly, this has been something that has bothered all of us our whole lives. If you're from Milwaukee, you know. I feel like the outsiders, they just now being like, oh my God, this is a big deal. But to us, I feel like our whole life, it hasn't set right. It's always been like, what happened to her? Like, we know what happened to Purvis Parker. We know what happened to Quadravian Henning. We know what happened to those little girls on center when that car wanted to baseline. We know what happened to all the tragic incidents in our city. Nobody knows what happened to Alexis Patterson.
Yeah. Even the one that happened on Good Hope and that man hit that baby and that mama.
Oh my God, that was on Tatonia near Good Hope. Mm-hmm. And that was her boyfriend.
They caught him right away. So we know what happened to everybody but this baby. Somebody know who the people were. Somebody saw something. It's okay now. What can they do to us now? That's what I had to figure. What can you do? I know how to fight. Got a gun. So what can you do?
They saying to open a panel, let people up and speak. I don't know how to do this, y'all, but who want to come up? I got some requests. I guess I'll accept to let some people come up and speak. Let's see. Please don't be rude and say disrespectful or cuss words to get us banned. But hey, how you doing, babes?
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, I got a question. I just want to know, like, why they said that the dad walked Alexis to the schoolhouse if he really didn't walk the Alexis to the schoolhouse. Like, they just making up all type of stories. I'm so tired of it.
That's what we were saying. Like, he did not walk Alexis to the store. He was standing on the top porch. We said that at the beginning that he was just trying to feel like he was a responsible dad, that he saw her, but he did not. And I can be 100% sure he did not walk her. I can describe everything. It's like a vision in my head of everything he had on, his hair and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't here when y'all spoke upon it. Everybody in the comments saying they said it. My bad. But thank y'all.
You good. Thank you for your question, babes.
All right.
Okay. Yo, I really don't know how to work this that good, but I'm gonna try. Hey, what's your question?
I just want to know, like, how do y'all feel deep down inside? Like, do y'all feel like she's still here or no?
To be honest,
No. Okay, that's how I feel. I just feel like Ayana is played a big part of that.
I feel like I feel like if anybody would know, it's Ayana. And the way she's acting,
Yeah. And the way you acting is you're showing you had something to do with it. Like,
she's sure she's not here.
if
She's not.
my child came to me, if somebody came to me that I've been missing for years and they think you're my child, we're gonna run to get a DNA test. We're gonna run. Like, I've been looking for you forever, so why wouldn't we go get a DNA test?
Right. I'm not denying no possibility. I don't care
I'm
if it's
not
one.
denying it. You know, we're gonna get proof.
Right. I
But
mean,
that's all I wanted.
well, thank you, Babes.
Hmm.
bring the dog down the stairs so he can stop barking.
It's a lot of requests, y'all. Y'all know I can't accept all of these.
Hey, Dion.
Hey,
Hey, I just want to say I appreciate you taking your time out to assist with this. I just want to clear up a few things. So I am an investigator. I got a top level security clearance. I want to clear up a few things regarding how critical it is the first 48 hours when you get ready, when something happens. The first 48 hours are the most critical parts in regards to finding what happened. So I've been knowing Shapri since my college years. She spoke about this years ago, but at the time, I wasn't an investigator. I was just on the law enforcement side. So coming from somebody that first of all, I have a master's in psychology. I've been a licensed counselor, and I've been in law enforcement, and I have a top level security clearance. So with this investigation, because of her age, any database that you go into, her age is going to be slim to none chance of her name being in that database. The route that this investigation should take, whoever we decide to handle the investigation, first we need to find somebody who is not scrapped for money, because investigators are scrapped for money. A lot of investigators don't have money. So we got to find somebody that we can really trust to handle the situation properly. But I just want to, if anybody got any questions about how the investigation should go, me personally, I think, because I had questions, right? I had questions regarding her dad. I knew her dad. You know what I'm saying? I met her dad a few times. I had questions when I read the reports and read the 1,000-page investigation. I had questions regarding her dad. You know what I'm saying? And me and her go back and forth on it. Some of the stuff that I say, she's not gonna like. But that's just me looking at it from, that's just me taking my feelings out of it, because this is what I do for a living. But I think this investigation has to take a turn, and that turn should be, the march is a great idea because it turns the pressure up on Ayana. She is the number one suspect in this entire investigation. I spoke to the Milwaukee Police Department on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. And I also spoke with News Channel 12, the Milwaukee news station or whatever. You get more results when you got people who's privy to a lot of other information like myself. So they should be at some point running another special regarding Alexis at some point, because I'm turning the pressure on myself. This case is should have been solved years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't take long to solve a case like this. But again, man, Dion, I really appreciate it, man. Like, I just had to get on here and say this. I ain't want to put my face on camera. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I definitely understand.
You know what I mean? But I really appreciate y'all coming forward, man, and assisting with this, man. And
you should have you're an investigator, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think you should have an investigator that's not non-biased and not from Milwaukee.
Absolutely. I spoke with an investigator out of California. So you know, we had a conversation, and the conversation was a good conversation because this investigator I know is not scrapped for cash. He's been plastered on he's been on all type of special forces teams and doing all type of investigations. So I wholeheartedly know that I feel like he doesn't need any cash. And, you know, like I said, I've been on the phone with a few investigators, but none of them been out of Milwaukee. You know, because it's too close. It's close to home in Milwaukee.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, and an investigator, they are expensive. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times investigators work on a retainer. You know, they want a retainer, and then they require like 10-hour minimum on certain things, but a surveillance and all that's not needed. You know, you don't need a surveillance. You know what I'm saying? You just need to. You have to turn the pressure up on Ayanna, and that can be done. You know what I'm saying?
Even if the investigator can find other witnesses and find out who could have saw something, maybe the investigator can find out who was the crossing guards. Talk to them, like they can figure out more than we can. So that's why I would need an investigator because we can only do so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I had to get on here and show my appreciation, man, because you know I'm dealing with it behind the scenes and 10 times out of 9, we gonna get to it. The truth gonna come out, man. It's gonna take a little time, but the truth gonna come out, man, for sure.
I got faith. We got somebody else who came into the box. Lexus.
Yeah. Hey y'all. I was coming here to ask, did any of y'all like try to reach out to the girl Tashanique, or I don't know how to say her name. Is that her name, Tashanique?
Tashanique. I haven't reached out to her personally. She I don't feel like she wants to talk. Like I've said things in like lives and stuff that I've like jumped in, but no, like I haven't had a personal conversation with her. Anybody else?
Okay, and also the people in the comments, they saying that they got like a screenshot of the car or something like that.
And they keep saying except Raven. I don't know who Raven is.
I got the car in my inbox.
Except Raven. Let me see who is Raven. I don't know who Raven is. I don't see no request from nobody named Raven. Oh yeah, I do. Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm like a little investigator or whatever. I'll be doing my investigating stuff. So when I seen the witness say that she has spoke to Alexis and she got into a car, I did like some investigating on Lena. And so the first thing I did was like looked up her name and stuff, and I found the address to where she lived, and she lived kind of like a little down the street from Alexis at the time. So I'm just like on Google, I'm just looking at the house or whatever, and then I like go down a little bit and it shows like an old clip, like an old picture of how the house used to look and how everything used to look, and there's like a gray or silver car in the front of the house. So I have that screenshot on my phone, but I can't like show it on the live or anything like that. But yeah, I just wanted to see if that could be the car that she got into.
Somebody sent me that already? Somebody sent me that, right? Okay, yeah, we got that screenshot. And we're looking into that.
Yeah, I believe everything that Alexis's big sister is saying, because I also went on her Facebook and I seen she's been saying this for years. This is not something that she just coming out saying. She's been saying this for years. So yeah, there is something going on with that for sure. Ayanna needs to stop lying, saying that you're lying, because she's lying, and we can see that. If you do your research, she's been saying, I know why my sister's missing. I ain't seen my sister. And I will always remember, you know, that last conversation.
Do the car show the license plate?
Right. Do you got the license plate on the car?
It's blurry, but you can tell it's only like 3 to 4 numbers or something like that. Like it's real short. But I gave everybody the address. That's why I was like, somebody posting the address in here. I told everybody go and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we saw that car. The thing I said is that car looked like it's in 2001, 2 maybe. Like that would have been a brand new car back then.
It wasn't brand new though. We remember her car wasn't brand new.
It was like an 88 something, right? It was like an 80 something. So it was a little older. It was like a 10, 12-year-old car back then. So I don't think that was the car like that. I would think when Google Maps came out, that car would have been long gone by then.
Right. That car I sent you, that's her car. It just wasn't brand new.
I'm talking about the car that she had back in 2001.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, that car would have been gone by
Right.
So she got that was her new car after that one. But now I've yet to verify that Lena owned a Buick or like a Delta 88. That's why I needed to investigate to verify that she owned that car back then.
That's what needs to be figured out. That car situation. Like I said, I also posted in the comments. I went on her Facebook. She posted like subs about how people need to speak up about family secrets and stop protecting people. And I'm like, oh wow, perfect timing, huh?
Man. Yeah. I can tell. Ayana acting so guilty. Ain't one person on this live can say with a clear conscience that Ayana's not acting guilty at all.
Actually,
come on now. So I know a lot of times we just be nosy and don't put our money where our mouth is. I need y'all to put y'all money where your mouth is. We need to investigate. Like,
we gonna figure it out. 2024 is the year of revealance, truth. It's gonna come out.
It needs to.
I can feel it.
If anybody is scared to come forward for any reason, please, you can remain anonymous. I got people who have inboxed me from all over. I haven't shared one of them. I haven't even told nobody who's inboxed me. All I said was it's a family member. Have I told you any names of anybody who inboxed me?
Same with me. I've had family reach out to me. I ain't saying who it is.
No names. All I can say is that people in the family have inboxed me and told me they thank me for doing what I'm doing and I'm on the right track.
Yep.
They say, oh yeah, Ayana the one that did it. They said, just know you on the right track.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to share no information, but anybody who knows anything, please come forward.
Well, thank you guys for adding me to the live.
Thank you for
Thank you
I
for
pray
coming.
you find your sister, girl. And I'm gonna pray for you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, babe.
Bye.
I don't know who to really like accept. Anybody? Okay, what's your question? What's her name? PYT Akira. Girl, Akira. Can you hear us?
Akira. Well, she can't speak. One of her speakers.
I don't know what happened, man. I don't know. But we can't be up here too much loud. We got like 10 more minutes, y'all.
What up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's up?
So I don't know too much about the case, and I'm not from Milwaukee, and I don't want to sound crazy or disrespectful. But after analyzing, sitting, watching TikTok videos and thinking, do y'all think that it's possible that Alexis was put in the car and the car could have been junked or parked with her body in there?
No, they were still riding around in whatever car it was.
Got you. That I was just something I thought about.
Not in Milwaukee. It ain't even too many places you could just put a car where nobody will find it. Even at the junkyard, people go through those cars every day.
There's no way you can hide.
About it is that I don't know. I said maybe they took her back home, or I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so whatever it was, she got out of that car. Like I believe she got out of the city because being in the city during that time is nowhere she could have been seen anywhere within city limits, and people not being like, that's That's Alexis Patterson.
Right,
Like we
right.
knew her. I knew her first and last name, and I was 12. No.
That's just so crazy to me because you would think that like the city or the state or anything like that would have some type of like camera footage or like people that it's a different time. Back then technology wasn't as advanced. Nobody got Ring cameras or anything.
Exactly.
It's just so crazy. Yeah, it's just so crazy.
Yeah, so that's why it's like we pretty much hit a brick wall. It's like you got to get an investigator to figure out the rest because we can't go knock on doors and say, "Hey, give me your ring cam footage from that day."
Right. And like you said, if Lena had that car back in 2001, that's well over 20 years. That's a long time to be trying to go back through, documents and things like that. But
the DMV will have those records. That's why I was like, we need the police help, and they're not trying to help with nothing, like nothing.
Exactly. It's an interesting case. It's definitely the truth is gonna come out eventually. It really will, and that shit is crazy.
Later, but
definitely. But that's my skill on it.
We appreciate it. I'm gonna take 3 more questions, and I have a lot of stuff to get to.
Me too. I appreciate you having us, though.
Oh, of course. Janaya. Janaya. We can kind of hear you.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't have a question. I was just gonna say I don't think Ayana wants to speak because I think she knows. Of course, knows what happens. Because every time Tashanique says, "I feel like I'm Alexis," Ayana will say, "No, you're not Alexis because I found my daughter in a dream back in 2016." Whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I just thought that was strange that she always says that every time Tashanique says, "I'm Alexis," she's like, "No, I found my baby back in a dream in 2016." Like, what does that even mean? I was just confused by that. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We know this. I think I mentioned that before. Like, I don't know why she keeps saying. I write off half the things Ayana say. I just see it as her just lying, trying to cover some stuff up because it don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But thank you for your question, babes.
Yeah, I did have another question, but I don't remember what it was. So
you can ask what's your other question.
Drop me. I don't remember what it was for real. Y'all can drop me though.
All right, have a good night, babe.
You too.
Okay. 2 more. I'm trying to get the people who've been waiting a while. One moment.
Hello.
Tika, that's your name?
Yes.
Hey, Tika.
Hello. I have a question. Have y'all been able to establish the relationship between Lena and the guy that was in the car that Alexis called uncle?
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, so the guy is Ayana's brother. Apparently Ayana and Lena were close, and Ayana and Anthony are brother and sister, and they hung out a lot. So all
and Alexis called both of them auntie and uncle. The one, he really is her uncle, and Lena was her auntie because her and Ayana was so close, and that was the easiest thing to call her. But
okay.
You know how you call your mama best friends?
So Lena and Anthony date, or they were just all close?
I just know they were all close. I don't know who she was dating. I don't know nothing about that. I just know all of them were really, really, really close, all the way together, and they was together that morning, and they did that.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. All right, we got one more. I'm not being biased, y'all. I'm really trying to just like.
You want to talk something about these lie detector tests, right quick?
It's gonna be a little more clarity.
Uh-huh.
All right, this is my last thing before I get out of here. So, lie detector test, right?
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
She can go ahead.
Yeah. What's your question?
Okay, so I just want to know, since we have a witness saying that she was last seen, my bad, in that, well, with the gray card. Now, I just want to say, I'm sorry for the background, but I just really want to ask, like, since the stepdad failed the test, and the part that he failed the test on was, do you know where Alexis is right now? They said that's the part he failed the test on.
Yeah.
I just think that needs to be reviewed just a little bit more, because it just is a lot of things, like, because they said that he walked Alexis to school, and then the son said he never walked Alexis to school, or he drove him, dropped him off to school. It's just a lot of speculation behind.
My thing is, every lie told is a reason for the lie. So it's a reason why Ayana didn't mention that she spent the night at Lena's house. It's a reason why LaRon said that he drove the boy to school, to the bus stop, when he really took him to school. It's a reason why LaRon said he walked the baby to the bus stop and he did it. I mean to the crossing guard and he did it. It's a reason why they never brought up Lena throughout the investigation. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why everything was omitted. We just have to figure out why.
But also, Ayana said something in her interview about how the higher ups have something to do with it. Like, I think that may be some type of, I don't know if it's a cover up or what.
Ayana said that in the interview?
In one of her interviews, yeah, like she was like, this has a lot to do with the higher up people, and they don't want nobody to figure out what's really happening or something along those lines. So I think, is it the whole point of, does the higher ups really have something to do with it? Or is she saying that, or is she trying to really cover her ass because she knows she's in cahoots with them? You know, there's a lot of things that you could ask up amongst that, because there's a lot of people who go missing and the government is a part of the scheme, you know, because, you know, organ trafficking's real. You know, they taking these babies and taking their organs. You feel me? They don't give a fuck about what the families are going through, or, you know, what's going on with, as long as it ain't they people, they don't care. But I'm saying along the lines of, she speculated and said things about this having to do with something bigger than all of us. So I'm saying there's another case not similar to this one, but it just gives you the same feels. You know, like there's that case with Kanika Jenkins. A lot of people started dying behind that case. That case still ain't been solved itself either. So there were people like just me and you feel me, with platforms searching and looking, and there was people anonymously calling people with platforms telling them to lay off the case because this shit's bigger than me and you. You know what I'm saying? There's people in higher positions that are really abducting kids. And whether or not if Ayana was a part of giving her child up, you know, she gave her, regardless of what she did, you know what I'm saying? It's been 22 years. And her case has come back up, you know what I'm saying? And in an interview, she's saying it has something to do with higher power. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of things going on that, you know, we need to pinpoint something, because it just, there needs to be a foundation.
It goes high up too.
What'd you say?
Tashunique said it goes high up too. So that's weird.
Who said that?
Tashunique, the girl with the green hair.
But both of them, it's weird because Ayana said it before Tashunique came out, because this interview was a while back before Tashunique even came out talking about she's her. But then after that, Tashunique start talking about occults, the sex trafficking. You know, that shit is a thing too. I mean, but it happens, like, and it's there's bigger shit going on that with you know, than just what we're just talking about. We're talking about finding a little girl, but also there's millions of little girls connected to what we're talking about. If we're talking about what these two individuals are talking about, you know, they both mentioned.
I'm researching into that. You jumping ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's important. So
I'm researching that. It's a possibility that it could be something like that, and I'm doing the research. So
just be careful. Just be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm
not
gonna
trying to confuse everybody yet, so we're not gonna talk about.
Yeah, you know, I was about to say. I'm gonna hop off here. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you, baby. Okay, and then I want this last person to speak.
Greetings, greetings, and the sisters we trust. Hey, and Dion, I really love you too. I wanted to say this on a more spiritual side. Ayana has lost her magic, or to whatever she wanted to call herself, a witch, whatever it is, a long time ago. That's why she is portraying with these crystals, when the crystals are probably not even fucking real. Ashe. So I just wanted to say this on a more Masonic way. She's a Mason, an Eastern Star. What happens is they have a lot of leeway with the system of the police, the corrupt system. They work with Masons because when a Mason do something, they can get off the hook quick as hell with the judge. So that's why a lot of her stuff is being covered up. You want to know why I know about Masons? I have a lot of those in my family. I'm saying I left their ass behind. A lot of things get covered up with Masons, and a lot of people don't speak of that a lot. They want to say it's witchery, it's this and that. So we know everybody, this is the year of truth, like the other lady said. Everybody, this baby is telling her story through people. That's why we're all connecting for this exact reason today. That's why everybody is keep coming up. They keep coming up because this child is trying to get her story told. And this is the year where our generation is doing the motherfucking work. The old generation just like, oh, they gonna figure it out, stay in the kids' place. Now the kids that they said stay in the place, we out here doing the shit we doing today. Because I was young when this happened. You get what I'm saying? So I remember certain stories about it, but I was in Michigan, but I never really was educated on it. But the fact that everything has come out the way it's coming out, I believe this case is going to be opened again and it's going to be closed because she's going to be, and which she did, I do believe she has something to do with the LaRon death, because let me tell you something. On the spiritual side of things, if I really wanted to get somebody going, I would sit back and wait years when they know my darkest secrets. She has something to do with that man spiritually not being able to open up and tell what happened, just like she was planning magic to remove the sister's memory for even coming out to speak about this baby. So many things is coming back to us because their magic not working no more on us. We see through they fucking lies. A lot of our parents failed us. So the reason why I believe this, because I had a wicked mother too, Ashe, and she lost her motherfucking magic when she tried to sacrifice me. So I got a lot on that too. It's more to it where I was supposed to be in a basement. So that's why I'm connected to this baby, because it could have happened to a lot of us. Because a lot of us escaped from this shit. But I'm going to tell you what's protecting her. The only thing what's protecting her was that Masonic shit she in. And she knows she's a Masonic Eastern Star. So she trying to make it seem like she's spiritual to put y'all in directions to hate the witches or hate the spiritual bitches. No, it don't have nothing to do with that. She know y'all are close on her ass, so of course she's going to sit back and be quiet. That your father, he knew about that. And I believe your dad was going to tell, but your dad's soul and spirit is speaking through you. And that's why you're able to catch on to so many things too, because your dad is giving you that protection on the spiritual side. See, when we pass over, we give you a little bit more protection. So coming from a spiritual side of things, everything is being aligned the way it needs to be. And y'all are doing a wonderful job. And this baby, do I believe she's still on here on this planet? I feel her presence too hard in the spirit realm. So I'm going to say, I believe she did pass over. But her spirit is talking to many people because she wants this case to be over and closed. She wants this mother to go down. That's what's going on with it.
Yeah, I'm not even a spiritual person, but I definitely believe all of that. I do. Like,
when she was talking.
when you say you feel her presence, I'm telling you, I could not sleep for days, and I keep waking up, and this is like, that's the first thing on my brain. I'm like, why do I care so much? Like, it's just bothering me, and it's just like, no, something is up, something not right. If I can't, it's not too many things I can't sleep on. So it's definitely
London Deluxe. What you got to say about this?
As far as
It's just the spiritual side of your father protecting you as you speak to this. The spiritual side that your father is protecting you to be able to come out here and voice your opinion and tell these truths, because it's not just Alexis that's with you. I feel your dad's spirit over you since the day you went live.
You ain't lying, because I feel like I have a lot of his strength now, and especially I'm just pulling from that because I don't have him to call. But remembering everything he instilled in me and holding my chest up the way I know he would if he needed to.
because your father, in a lot of those interviews, and a lot of people was trying to say that it was your father that did it. I don't believe that one bit, because in every interview your father did, and the ones that I can see on YouTube, because I did my research too, Ashe, the only way I can see through your father, they say he looked evil through his eyes. No, your dad looked like he seen evil in her ass. Your dad looked like he was scared of her. Like, bitch, I seen him damn near push her off his shoulder. Like, get off of me. Like, he felt that wicked presence in her. He did not want to believe it, but your father was under an illusion spell around that time. She was manipulating and cloaking her energy with his. Whole time it was her that was wicked, and she wanted everybody to look at him in that light. So if you ask me, how did this father pass away? I have every right to believe it had some spell work to do with it. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Y'all be thinking black people don't do witchcraft and do voodoo and do all these spells and do all these horrible things. You a motherfucking fool. They can be just as wicked as the white tea people. Y'all cannot keep putting this over your eyes. There's so many children that have fallen from their own parents. You ever heard that saying, I brung you in this world, I can take you out? Those are wicked words from a fucking demonic parent. You don't tell no child that. So at the end of the day, I felt your father energy since the day I seen his video. And when I seen that video, I said, he may know something, but his throat chakra was being closed by her. She had something over him. And when you enter a Jezebel spirit, they can put a lot of spells on you when you enter them. So that's probably why she was able to do certain things to him. But the fucked up part about it, let me tell you the witchy trick about it. She may have got him gone and a lot of people gone, but now it's only leaving motherfucking lights on her, Ashe? So now that everybody gone, now the light is on her and it's shining very brightly, because guess what? You don't have no witnesses, but the witnesses in the spirit is leading us right to your ass. Now she done got herself in more light. We don't need to fight for her ass to get caught. She's making it easy for everybody.
Thank you for your commentary. We appreciate it. Anything else you want to say to the ladies?
I just want to say I love y'all so much, and you are not alone. And the spirit is so heavy because, like I say, this is the season where a lot of spiritual people are about to be revealing their murders on live through people. You ain't even gonna know somebody else. The spirit of them go just hop in your body and say, "Hold on, wait." So at the end of the day, the women are rising, the men are rising, and y'all are on a very strict, godly timeline. This ain't got shit to do with man-made time. This is God's time. And so when everybody gets the chance to open up, everybody go open up and everything will be revealed so Alexis can go in peace. That's all she wants. That's all I wanted to say. I love y'all. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Love you too. Have a good night.
You as well.
All right, y'all. It's been a lovely 2 hours. It's been a lovely 2 hours.
Right.
Thank y'all so much for your time. I know live, I'm used to this, but I know it takes a lot. People don't understand how draining this is. Thank y'all for sticking through it. I know.
Thank y'all for all the gifts and any donations that y'all gave, and thank y'all for listening.
Yes, thank y'all. Please, I beg y'all. I will get on my knees, okay? Let me get on my knees for y'all, okay? Please, if y'all can,
thank you.
Donate to the GoFundMe so we can get this private investigator. Please, the link is in my bio. The link is in her bio. Please, y'all. I just got on my knees. Okay, my dog licking me. I need this. We need this.
Thank y'all so much. Everybody that tuned in, everybody that's paying attention and following. Thank you, girl, for coming up and speaking out. I know that was a lot.
Yeah, and I miss seeing your face. It's been so long.
Me too. I hope we keep in touch. We need to keep in touch.
Well, y'all got to talk behind the scenes because she got some stuff she wanted to say but can't say it on camera. So y'all need to talk about that so we can get everything.
It's draining. Yeah, everybody take a breath for the day. Thank y'all for coming out.
It's been good. Thank y'all. Good night. I will post a live on YouTube as soon as I can. So if y'all missed it, y'all be able to watch it again. Besides that, everybody be blessed, be safe, and I will see y'all soon.
And the link in my bio too, y'all. Thank you.
Link in bio.